Hello, how are you doing? Good evening and a very warm welcome to youtube.com/Wi-Fi Sheep with me, Tom, and another edition of 8 Till Late Live right here on the channel. How are you doing? Apologies once again for being slightly late on stream. We had 8 minutes to go, so it was 8 to the hour, 8 minutes to the hour, and the whole thing went boom, and everything that I'd set up just crashed and stopped working. And I was like, no. And that's been the story of my week, unfortunately, which I will come to shortly. But if you're just joining us, then very warm welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're doing something a little bit special, as you may have seen in the title to this video / stream, depending if you watch me live or pre-record. This is an attempt at a BBS or bulletin board service special. And I've been contacted by someone called Brian Martin, who runs a BBS. I did mention it briefly a couple of weeks ago, called Night Owl. It's a custom BBS, and it actually runs on an Acorn BBC Micro. To be precise, a Master 128 system. I have this photo sent through. So this is the setup, and the Master is on the right of your picture. And you can see it actually running on the flat screen there, the title screen to the Night Owl BBS. It's called Night Owl because it runs on BBC Micro. It can be accessed pretty much by any terminal or machine capable of running BBS type systems, or receiving them, I should say. And it runs at night. Limited service that runs for a couple of hours every night. That's kind of nice about it. It's not, how can I put it, it's a 24-hour service. So it's limited. You'd have to dial in or tap in via broadband one at a time. It's a single client service. And tonight I'm hoping that we can get many of you kind of together, one after another, to actually go and visit. And it's going to be fantastic, especially if you haven't done any kind of BBS bulletin board type things before. All you're going to need is to be in front of a Mac, PC or Linux desktop type computer. If you're on an Android box or a phone or something, that's going to be a little bit difficult tonight. But if you're in front of a desktop, or if you can get yourself in front of a desktop or laptop PC, then you can actually follow along. We'll say hello to everybody in the chat shortly. Oh, and by the way, just for I forget what I'm going to say, this is the chat box for tonight. So if you want to participate, you can drop your chats right in there and they'll show up on the video. I am doing a separate recording of this particular part of the live stream, hence why you may have noticed the where are we? There we go. Live tags and things have disappeared, because I'm going to reuse this footage into a main Wi-Fi Sheep upload video about BBSing, if I can speak properly. So if you want to be involved, all you have to do is download a client, and I'll get to that very shortly. But first, do you have a need for reliable and cost-effective web hosting for your blog, business or personal website? If so, then look no further than Cheap Host UK. Cheap Host UK's basic plan starts from only 58p per month. That's £6.99 a year. And if you're needing a little bit more, Cheap Host UK's premium packages start from £1.41 per month, or £16.99 a year, complete with a free .co.uk domain. New customers can also take advantage of an extra 10% discount when purchasing any first-time hosting package or domain name from Cheap Host UK. Use discount code SHEEP, that's SHEEP, to get an extra 10% off. For reliable, cost-effective web hosting and domains, look no further than Cheap Host UK. Full details and an affiliate link are in the description to this video. So Cheap Host UK sponsoring Wi-Fi Sheep Live, and you can get an extra 10% off any purchase of first-time domain name or web hosting package, using the discount code SHEEP, SHEEP. Full details and links are in the description to the video. So, if you'd like to take part in tonight's experimental edition of 8 till Late, by the way, I have a feeling we may be off air a little bit earlier tonight, as it's not the normal me attempting to solder something without shorting it out. I know, as fun as that is. We'll be back to that next week. But if you would like to participate tonight, then either you need to have a BBS capable system set up and ready to go. We're going to be using the TCP protocol, so it will need to be an internet connected. Some of these BBSs you can dial up to the traditional phone landline copper way of doing it. We're going to be going via broadband modern internet connection. So if you want to participate, you need to download a client. You can do that right now if you're on PC, Mac or Linux. And we need to head over to Glass TTY. Now, the address for this particular site is in the description to this live stream or video right now. And the address is glasstty.com/Telstar. This is the page that you will see. And Telstar is something we featured before. It's another BBS bulletin board that Wi-Fi Sheep got a mention on about a year, 2 years ago, something like that. Very, very good service, and it can run in browser, it can run on vintage machines, or it can run via data client software. Thankfully, Telstar actually has its own client software. By the way, it's run by John Newcomb, a friend of mine who I've exhibited alongside many a time, mainly in Cambridge. So you can download what's called a Telstar View Data Client, which is here. And I believe is this one here? Yes. So I'll just go back there. So there's a link here from the front page, which is Telstar View Data Client. And it is 64-bit, and you've got various versions, Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. There is actually a Windows 386 build as well. And all versions can be downloaded from this zip. So if you're connected and want to join in tonight, then download from here, unzip, install. I'm going to talk for the next sort of hour or so, and hopefully by the time we get to about 9 o'clock, we might have some people ready to join Night Owl, and he said Night Star then, Night Owl BBS, and we'll see what's going on. So while you wait and get that installed, hopefully many of you will, let's go and have a look at Night Owl ourselves. So Night Owl has been running this afternoon, and we say a huge thank you to Brian Martin, who has actually joined us in the chat. It's been running this afternoon, so hopefully if we go to And apologies about that. I think we have actually, oops, don't do that. I think we have actually just lost some sound, unfortunately. Just bear with me one moment. Again, very sorry. Again, this is what it was all working fine. And then, yeah, I think you're right. I think we've lost some. And hopefully, there we are. Hopefully you can now hear me again. Do let me know in the chat if that is okay. So oh dear, we've just gone offline. We've also just lost the BBS. Oh dear. Okay, I said it was a bit. Not to worry, bro. We've got a few teething errors, but don't worry, it's all fine. That's what we're here just to get this. This is the shakedown hour, basically. So not to worry, it happens. It happens with all. It all happens. So let's just. I'll just come straight back in again. I'll log back in. Not to worry. Right. So because no one could hear me the last time, unfortunately, which was a problem my side. This says this is the very cool opening screen to Night Owl. So it says the Night Owl BBS would like to say a huge welcome to 8 Till Late from Wi-Fi Sheep Live. Really, really cool of Brian to actually do that. In all honesty, really do appreciate. Love that kind of graphics. It's such cool. I actually did that. So. For those of you that are trying along to see what actually we're doing, yeah, just be patient. What I'm trying to do is just give a brief demonstration of the Night Owl BBS. Then I'll show you how to actually actually set up and run yourself. So the reason we can't all barrel in one go is because there's only one line, if you like. So just give us a moment, and thank you, by the way, those of you that are trying this out. It's a bit of an experiment. We've got a couple of hours. There's another BBS we can look at as well as Night Owl, but Night Owl is the main feature tonight. So as I said, it was all a bit different. It all fell apart my end 8 minutes before we went live. So we're just going to catch up a bit. Okay, so Night Owl menu. There's a couple of things I really want to show you. So we did the about. I showed you the about page before. But what you can do is, this is a little bit like a teletext or CFAX type television system from the old days of analog. It's the same technology, but unlike television, this is actually interactive. So hopefully, fingers crossed, with a bit of luck, if I say 7, this will actually call the administrator, which is Brian. So one moment. And there we go. Hi. How are you? This is going to be weird because he's seeing this live as we're doing this. So you can actually have a chat with Brian, who runs Night Owl yourself. All good here. Yeah. So, yeah. We'll say it's now all working. So great. This is great. Oh, of course it's great fun. Yeah. Story of my life in this channel is everything is drying. So we'll say thanks very much. We're going to break back out of that. So we'll say thank you very much to Brian. Brian is going to be there on his BBC. So he's typing this on a BBC Master 128. So we'll say thank you very much, but we'll bail out if we can. How do I bail out? Nope. Can't remember how I bail out now. Okay, he's going to do it at his end. I can't remember if the administrator has to do it or if I have to. There we go. Brilliant. Thank you, Brian. Do I need help? Yes, I do. So what we can do is from the main menu, if we don't want a number, we could, for example, say need help. We could go asterisk or star, sorry. Don't want to upset the Acorn people. And go help. And that actually gives you kind of like a readme type thing for the actual Night Owl terminal. And that kind of gives you the idea. So you can see you can actually shortcut yourself to different places, which is great. So let's go 0 to go back. I just want to show you something really quick before I'm going to move over and let you have a play if you're kind of getting ready. So just want to show you section 4 on this, retro YouTube. I think this is so cool. So this is Brian's collection of YouTube channels that he's actually kind of liked, following and subscribing to. And there's quite a few, but as well as having a bit of text about which, you know, who they are, he's also incorporated in the kind of blocky 8-bit style of the, well, using BBS graphics, basically text-based ASCII graphics, done the channel logos for the various channels and organizations, which is really cool. Especially Agent's Digital Basement there, you know, which looks absolutely fantastic. Wi-Fi Sheep is further down. It is there. So that's all brilliant stuff and well worth a look. So I'm going to go 0. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say asterisk and bye-bye. So I'm going to exit. So good night, Tom Wilson. Please call again. Go get some sleep. The idea being Night Owl will be running kind of in the, you know, late hours for those geeks or those of us up at, you know, into the early hours. So it's a limited nighttime service, as I said. Well, I may have said, I don't know if you caught it in the recording. So, right. That was brilliant. That worked really well. So if you want to have a play yourself, you need some details. And here are the details you need. So if you have got Telstar client running and you got it running successfully, let me just go back to show you the client software. So hopefully you've got something that looks a little bit like this, and there is this cloud. And you click the cloud and you put the IP address and you put the port. Then you can just click OK. So IP address and port. This is for everyone who is going to go via broadband. Now it's going to be one person at a time. We need to police this. So it's going to be about 10-15 minutes each, depending on how many people want to go through. That's so you can have a look at Night Owl yourself. So let me go back to the ports. So Night Owl's address is nightowlbbs.dnss.net, and it's port number 6400. Alternatively, Telstar has a little bit more bandwidth, so it can take more than one person, I think. Telstar is well worth a look. So if Night Owl is busy for the moment, you can have a look at Telstar, glasstty.com. And port number is, love the port number, 6502. Easy to remember. So those are the two BBSs that we're going to have a look at. So first come, first served. Martin will kind of be there to kind of police it. So we're going to try kind of go in kind of 10-15 minute intervals. Now, how you can join in the chat if you want to. I have a chat box which is showing all the content live that's in the chat at the moment. So if you want to participate and tell us what you found, if there's an interesting page, I think all the pages are numbered. If there's something worth looking at, we'd love you just to drop and say, I'm in, I've had a look around, etc., etc. Drop it in the chat. Bits of this video, as we do this live, are being recorded and are going to be included in a new Wi-Fi sheet video, which is coming up very, very soon, all about the chat bots and the BBS bulletin boards, such as Night Owl. So let's see how we get on. So hopefully I've gone offline, and I have gone offline, which is great. So while we wait, oh, we got a couple of people on. That's fantastic. So while we wait, what you're watching is a video of my time in the the BBS board earlier today. So I'm not, this isn't live, I'm not online in this video, so to speak. So I'm clearing for everybody else to have a look. But it is an absolutely fantastic piece of work. And I said in the intro, I think I mentioned in the intro, I had a chat on the phone with Brian just briefly today, and it's fantastic to actually speak to him. I don't know Brian in person. Brian contacted me, like so many do, and said, would I like to have a look at this? And I said yes, absolutely. Especially as it's got Wi-Fi sheet part has been featured, but this particular, the special screen for tonight done in the BBS, I have screenshotted it because I just think it's absolutely fantastic. So, but yeah, we'd really love it if people can actually tap in, have a look around. Basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a BBS LAN party in the single file mode. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's just find out how well this works tonight. And again, a quick reminder, there are the ports. Night Owl could be quite busy tonight, so it will be single file. Telstar, which we'll go and have a look at in a moment. Myself, I think Telstar has a little bit more capability. Alternatively, we could have a look at a couple of web portals. So if you don't fancy trying to do the software, there's a couple of BBSs we could actually go and have a look at. So let's have a look. And again, please excuse me while I sort of fumble around with the windows trying to find the correct. There we go. Okay. So let's go back to, there we go. So we're back to glasstty.com/Telstar. And there are a couple of BBS portals that it will actually support. And there's also TFAX. So I'm just going to make a new window here. Let's go to TFAX. And TFAX is quite good because it loads straight in the browser. So if you go to it's tstop.plus.com and it's colon 8080, port 8080. And this is TFAX, which is a sort of a, I would say, spoof of BBC CFAX. It's not, well, it's not a spoof, but it is a kind of, it's a real thing. It really works. So we can have a look at UK weather. That might be something to look at. So we've got a page link down here. And let's say we want to go to UK weather is 401. Yeah, page not found. So we hit red for index. No, there is no page. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Not my fault. Let's have a look at events. Block party, games, someone at Wigan. Again, these are all run and set up by individuals who run these privately. And you can dial into them. A lot of these you can dial in, or you can use add-ons in for modern computers, or for retro computers, then use things like broadband to be able to look at this and watch in real time. So if you want to have a play with that, that's TFAX, which is, you can literally just search TFAX. It's mentioned here. So let's have a look at there was a live web client. Let's see if I can find it. By the way, Telstar, you want the details for Telstar, there's Internet 1 and Internet 2. So if you go straight through to glasstty.com, you can actually find the addresses yourselves, which are here for Telstar. And again, I will just show you the ports this evening. So Telstar on Glassy, or Glass, I keep calling it Glassy, glasstty.com. Port 6502. Night Owl is nightowlbbs.dnss.net, and it's on port 6400. A quick look at the chat. And we say a very good evening to Lee, who missed us last week when I was talking about Lee and his son Kevin, who came to visit me, which was very, very nice. And so I actually had a visitor. I'm trying to think if I might still have the photo, actually. Let's have a quick look. I might still have the photo. I do still have the photo. There we go. So that is Kevin, who came to join me, I say last week, it was 2 weeks ago now. And Lee's actually taking the photographs. Lee's behind the camera. And that's one or two of the visits I actually had here live in the studio. So we're working on something with them both, which we'll be talking about actually very soon. Actually, it's probably the end of this month, beginning of next month. So I'm looking forward to that. That's a different project for a different day. But yeah, good to see Lee in the chat. So yeah, a reminder, if you missed the beginning of this and thinking, what on earth is going on this evening? Let's just say, there we go. Hello, it's me again. We are doing a BBS live special, or attempting to, and just praying everything holds together, because things did fall apart this evening, straight before I went on air. So leaving me a bit flustered and all over the place. So we're doing a BBS. We're looking at Night Owl, which is a BBS that runs, if I just jump back to that photos. Here's the setup. This is from Brian Martin, who's in the chat at the moment, and kindly sent to me. This shows a BBC Master System, which is on your right-hand side. It's the one with the flat screen. And that 8-bit BBC Micro is actually running the entire Night Owl BBS. It's a limited time dial-up bulletin board type service that runs every other evening. It's not a 24-hour service, but it's online right now tonight, and you can visit it. All you need to do is get yourself a web client. So the one we're suggesting to use is the Telstar client system. It can be found here at glasstty.com. Details and links are in the description, by the way, to this live stream or video. And let's just click back over to that window, and the client software is here. You click to, and you can actually then download it. It's compatible with Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. So you do need a desktop system. Here's the link to install. Once you have done that, you then need some ports. And here are the ports. So Night Owl is nightowlbbs.dnss.net, and it's on port 6400. And Telstar, which may have slightly more capacity, is glasstty.com, and it's on port 6502. Now, the plan is that hopefully everybody will be able to visit at least one of these bulletin boards. And if you find something interesting, or at least say, yes, I got online and I've been there and I've done it, then drop into the chat, just a text chat here, and say, hello, yes, I did that. There's so many of you have started to, and we actually have the chat here live in video. So you can actually pop in and say, hello, I visited Night Owl. Now, Night Owl runs on a one-in, one-out basis. It's a single user system. So we're trying to do like a block LAN party on a single entry. So we're going to have to police this a little bit. So 10 minutes in and then let someone else come in. Brian is there running the system. You can have a chat with Brian. I'm sure, Brian, maybe you could just chime in on the chat here and tell me if anyone is talking to you on the bulletin board. But it's just great if we get a few more visitors through Night Owl tonight. It's a brilliant piece of work. I really, really like what Brian has done with this. This is my recording from earlier today, so I'm not jamming a line, if you like, into it. But this was me logging in earlier today. And I'm just looking around. I still had you connected. I don't know if that's actually for me. I think I've logged out. I'm sure I've logged out. It says I'm offline. If I'm not offline, just chuck me off. It's fine. So, I don't think it is. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. I don't think it is actually for me. Oh, okay, that's fine. No, I shouldn't be online. So this is just me going for it earlier today, which is absolutely fantastic. So hopefully there's some space somewhere on the chat. Do go and visit it. As I said, I'll just show you the port numbers again. So Night Owl, there it is. That's the address and the port number. And Telstar, if Night Owl is busy, then Telstar is also available, and there it's its address and port number. I'm going to go and get a drink. I will leave you with the chat and I'll leave you with the chat and my recording of my visit to Night Owl earlier on. I'll be right back in a few moments with a fresh cup of tea. And I'm back for the moment. I still haven't got my cup of tea. But I just thought, I've been away a few moments. I need to come back. So, how are you doing? If you're just joining us, a very warm welcome to Wi-Fi Sheep Live. This is our BBS Night Owl special. That is a dog barking. Don't worry about that. That's what I'm going to go down and sort out in a moment. So it's all happening here this evening. Yes, absolutely, Brian. If you are queuing up trying to get into Night Owl, do say so in the chat. The chat box is live on screen. You're probably watching it right now. I'll just show you the ports very quickly. So Night Owl is on nightowlbbs.dnss.net and it's on port 6400. Telstar is an alternative you can look at tonight, and it's on glasstty.com and it's on port 6502. If you have never done a BBS before, then there's a fantastic web client available, and you need to go to glass.tty, and I will just show you again how to get to that. So you go to glass.tty and it's here on Telstar, and connecting and using the service Telstar View Data Client. The link is here and the download is here. It's available for desktop versions of Linux, Mac OS and Windows, and you can download the free software here. It's a zip, unzip, install, load up, and then you just need the portals, which are here. So Night Owl is on nightowlbbs.dnss.net and the port is 6400. So if I go to the client, when you open it up, it looks a little bit like this. This is when I logged out. So this is now live as I logged out. And you click on the little cloud icon. You put the IP address here. So in this case, it's nightowlbbs.ddns.net and TC port is 6400. We click OK and that would actually log us back in. I'm going to stay offline and not logged in at the moment to give people a space. Night Owl is a single user system, so we need to kind of queue up to have a look at it. I do encourage you to have a go tonight. If you want to be part of a Wi-Fi Sheep video, I'm recording bits of this so we can actually use it as part of a video. So do jump in, have a look around. It's a great system. There's lots of interesting things on there. We just go back to the client. So this is a recording, as I said from earlier on, of myself actually looking at the system, and I recorded it. So I'm not live chewing up the space at the moment. But as Brian says, if you're live, if you are looking tonight, log in tonight, please let know. Put yourself in there. And also, if you find anything interesting, do put it in there and let us have a look. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that again just for a moment. So I'm going to go make my cup of tea, give the dog a bone, quite literally. I will be right back. And while this is going on, we'll have a little chat about some other things happening in Wi-Fi Sheep land as of this evening. And I'm back with a cup of tea in hand. How are we doing? Again, good evening to you if you're just joining us. You are watching 8 till late live from youtube.com/Wi-Fi sheep. We're doing a BBS live special. That is what you are seeing on screen right now. And I've just gone over many times the details of how to actually log in. We're introducing Night Owl, which is a new independent retro project running on a genuine 8-bit BBC Master 128 system run by Brian Martin, who you can probably see there is in the chat right now. We're welcoming you to log in and join Night Owl to have a look around yourself. It's single file, one user at a time. I'll just give you the port numbers again. There they are on screen right now. So Night Owl, if you're going via TPC interface, is Night Owl bbs.dnss.net, and it's on port 6400. Okay, well, that's ticking on nicely in the background, and hopefully this is working tonight. So we're trying this as a bit of a special tonight. I've just remembered I haven't welcomed our Patreon and YouTube backer members. So there they all are. And we have a brand new YouTube channel member. So I'd like to give a very warm welcome to Ian Stewart Brackey, or Brackey, who is joining us for the very first time. Thank you so much for your support. Really, really greatly received. Again, along with all our YouTube and also Patreon members, thank you all so much. There's Lee there as well, who's in the chat. Lee is also a Patreon member. Badger Boy, who joined us 2 weeks ago as a YouTube member. Haven't seen him on online tonight. I'll just say hello, by the way, to Trolling Around, who has said hi. We'll be watching offline again. Bye. Bye-bye. Thanks for popping in all the same. Patreon, if you want to join, is patreon.com/Wi-Fi sheep. Alternatively, you can join as a YouTube channel member. There is the tiers starting at 99p, going up to £2.99, and that will be converted into your local currency wherever you happen to be in the world. And again, all I can say is thank you so much for each and every one of you that does support me here on the channel. A reminder, as well as I keep going on about it, is the Mug RISC-OS Xmas Market Exhibition Show thingy that I will be exhibiting at. It's my one and only exhibiting show of the year. It's on the 9th of December 2023. It's free to enter. It's at Wychbold, which is kind of just south of Droitwich, off the M5 in the West Midlands, central England. So I'm going to be there all day. It's opening at, I've got the time for that, 4 p.m. So it's going from 11:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's what I meant to say. And I'm going to be there all day with some setup and some equipment. The whole show event thing has got a bit of a kind of acorn tilt to it. But it's going to be a really fantastic day. If you can make it down, it's probably not worth travelling more than an hour and a half to visit. It's going to be quite a low-key village hall type show. But I'm there all day. It's free to come in and say hello. We're going to have some trade support as well, which is fantastic. So details, if you want to find out the details, it's mug.riscos.org. That's mug.riscos.org. There we go. So I've got my cup of tea. In fact, I'll tell you what, instead of looking at me, let's go back and have a look at the chat. So we have the chat. There is the chat this evening. And there on screen is your port numbers if you want to join in. Brian is saying that no one on the queue at the moment. So Joanne's is free to go back in, and do, if it's free, do go and have a look and snip around. I do hope many of you will go and visit Night Owl, actually, because it's fantastic. It's a fantastic project, a great bit of work. And and I just think when Brian said we'd like to look at it, I was like, absolutely. So we will be doing up a sort of a more edited, polished video using similar footage from tonight. So while we're on this screen, how's everyone doing? How is everyone post the great storm of the UK from Friday? I made the mistake of trying to go to work, and work is about 30 miles away. And Yeah. Um, it was terrible in the morning. It's all like sort of it's a double carriageway, but it's a country roads basically, and going across like North Shropshire, heading to East Shropshire, and yeah, absolutely abysmal weather. Things started sort of flooding left, right, and centre. And I got to work, and just as I literally got through the village of Edgerton, where the campus, the university where I work is, the car literally comped out, and it said no oil pressure, and the whole thing just died. And I was like, oh god, and I was just there stuck. So I kind of shut the whole thing down, led all the traffic past me, gave it a minute, restarted the car, and it kind of kicked back into life and then seemed absolutely fine. And I kind of limped, the extra how many yards down the road and into the car park to park up for the day. Obviously, kind of a bit stressed and distressed at that point. This was kind of like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Did a hour's worth of work I was meant to do, but luckily, being Harper Adams University, we have a mechanical engineering department which I'm attached to, and there were mechanics and people there that very kindly, in their own time, took the diagnostics equipment out, took my car into one of the garage hangars, normally used for tractors and robotic machines, and put the car on diagnostics. And car sat there idling happily and seemed okay. But when I came back, it wasn't quite right. So you might remember a few weeks ago I said I thought I had an air fault on my car, and we were talking about how terrible Fiat Puntos actually are. I honestly think my car has come to the end of its life, and I am literally going to look at replacing it with something this week, and that's why my entire world has sort of turned upside down. I've had car issues and that breaking, and then I knew we had this live broadcast going on tonight, and I'm like, oh my god. So it's all been going on. On to channel news, because I'm sure me moaning about my car is really interesting to you, but on to channel news. And you may have seen the video I did on the UE2 X1 single board x86 single board computer. I hinted last week about it, but I wasn't able to talk too much about it until I'd done the video and it'd been officially approved. Obviously, you probably have seen that online already, and it's actually done really well, and it is generally a great board. I'm not being paid, by the way, to talk about it in this video by them, so this is voluntary, me talking about it. But do go and check out that video. It's the latest pre-upload video, if you like. It's not the latest live video, but the latest uploaded video currently on the channel. And if I've got it, they did send me, and I've put it somewhere really safe, and now I can't find it, which is good. Oh, it's here under the desk. So they've actually sent me another package. It's not another single board computer, but it is a set of accessories and add-ons for the X1, and this literally came the other day in the post. Anna, my fiance, picked it up. It came for it actually didn't fit for the letterbox, so it was delivered. And she said to me, Tom, there's a parcel here with lots of Japanese writing on it. I said, Japanese? What are you talking about? And I said, no, that's Chinese. Oh, okay. So it's still in its wrapper, actually. So that's going to be a follow-up video very shortly. I know what's inside. It's a couple of add-on modules and things for the X1 to expand it. So I'm really looking forward to be able to sharing that with you. So that will be a follow-up to the X1. And for those of you that wondered what happened about the Windows running, so it was running full stock x86 Windows 10. It then updated to Windows 11, but it did that after I'd finished recording. So it's now running straight licensed, activated Windows 11, which is really, really cool. So I will be doing a follow-up on the X1 real shortly. We've actually got quite a few things coming up on the channel, which I need to get my head around doing. We've got another edition of Tiny Basic Computers, the home build version, coming up real soon. So those of you tuning in tonight and thinking, why aren't we doing Tiny Basic Computers? Well, I'm going to change tonight. We're doing BBS. But no, the follow along build it yourself tutorial series, the second episode is going to go up very shortly. I've literally been editing that yesterday after the car and the storm and everything. And I will be doing some of that possibly tonight after we finish with the live stream here, and I need to get it online hopefully Monday, Tuesday. That will be live here on the channel. Obviously we'll be sharing that with our first look viewers, which are our Patreon and YouTube channel members, get a preview first look before it's actually published. So if you are supporting me on any of those two platforms, then you will get to see that, as well as most new content. Some when I say most, some has to go straight live if it's like a paid production piece, but if it's just a sponsored video on a project I'm doing, then it will go through the first look system. So you can have anything up to 24 hours additional or sort of advanced access to brand new content right here on the channel. Just one of the many perks. I should also mention we have a members only playlist, which is available to YouTube members and also Patreon backers, and that has access to a lot of exclusive or content that's been retired, I should say, from the main YouTube channel, and there's a couple of exclusive bits on there as well. And also, just because I need to talk about it, because I've got to do some videos for that as well, Wi-Fi Sheep Channel 2, it's 2.wifisheep.co.uk. Links to that, by the way, are in the description to this live stream / video. If you haven't done this already, please do consider subscribing to Channel 2, 2.wifisheep.co.uk right here on YouTube. I'm going to be doing some model train and electronic stuff on that channel real soon. I just need to get around to it. So there's only one in me and about 10 million jobs that need doing. So, oh dear. So next week we'll be back on the Tiny Basic Computers build here, and we're going to sort out a few issues that I messed up last week and start getting that unit tidied up, because I'm going to start looking at software and start typing some actual basic in. So we'll be doing that next week here on the channel. Let's have a look at how we're doing. So again, if you're joining us for the BBS party tonight, Night Owl is online and available to you. It's nightowlbbs.dnss.net and port is 6400, and Telstar at glasstty.com and the port is 6502. So what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a look at Telstar. So I've got my Telstar client. This is the viewing software. So let's change where we're going to go. Let's go and have a look at Telstar. See if we can get in. So it's glasstty.com and the port is 6502. Now let's see if we can get in. Just cancel that. We can, there we are. It works a little bit differently, slightly different system to Night Owl. Telstar, by the way, is generally speaking available most of the time, 24 hours a day, and it can access more than one person can view at once. So in theory, if I've got this right, you should be able to join in at the same time as me. I want to say news and weather. So what it does, it actually pulls news feeds from various other places like BBC, Guardian, Reuters, that kind of thing. Private Eye, why not? Bit of fun this evening. Just hit return. Again, Private Eye, for those you don't know, is sort of more satirical type news. Again, I'm not going to use this platform to make any political statements, but you get the gist. So how do we go back? Nope. I can't remember how you go back in. Let's have a look. Page 0. Page 100. No. That's good, isn't it? How do we go home on Thingy Bobby? I did know this and I've forgotten, which is not good. No, how do we go back? I just want to go back. Oh, I'm going to reconnect in. I'm going to reconnect. Let's just do a fresh reconnect. There we go. So I have had a mention in Telstar before. So it's on Micronet, which is on 8. So we'll go service 8. This is Micronet. No, it's not Micronet. It's a tribute to Micronet. And hash for main index. So look at getting connected. So Micronet can be accessed via Telstar using a computer and a modem via the public switched telephone network, or via TCP/IP internet connection, which is what we're using here. And it's what I talk about dial-up. Some of these BBSs actually are still running dial-up connections. So if you have a dial-up modem, you can actually use phone numbers as you would have done back in the 80s to actually dial up into the BBSs, which is cool but mad at the same time. And I think we've just hit a slight bug, and that's my terminal just gone. Sorry, Tom, the address is slightly wrong. Have I missed something? Is the address I'm giving wrong, or is the address your side? What have I done? Sorry, I've just literally just coming into this. Again, there's a slight delay on the chat, so maybe someone will let in. If I put the wrong. Let me just see what we're doing. Oh, right. Night Owl is also available for dial-up. Yes, it is. And we'll soon have it linked to a gateway which will allow phone access. TCP IP, which would still be single user. I'll just show you that in the chat there. That's from Martin. Okay, yep, that's fine. Had me going there for a minute. I thought, what have I done wrong now? Oh, dear. Some of you might find actually that the client software Telstar is a little bit buggy, and this is a problem I have. I've just had my version lock up. Can't comment what it's doing on Windows or Linux, but Mac it's a little bit buggy, which is a shame. Yeah. So we had a potential caller there, making a few attempts, somehow got logged off. It's like, okay. I reckon you need to expand your operation, Brian. You know, multiple BBC micros able to, you know, handle multiple calls to Night Owl. And of course, Night Owl should go 24/7 because it will always be night somewhere in the world. On a serious note, you know, I appreciate it's a passion project, it's a hobby project, it's a labour of love, but it would be very, very cool, wouldn't it, if you know, we could sort of get around these you know, BBSs and visit them more often. That would be cool. Obviously, I appreciate that adds a level of complication for you, but yeah. So I think my client's actually crashed out at the moment. Yes, it has. Yeah, okay. So I'll just show you again. This is the video of me using Night Owl a little earlier today and logging in. Yes, you may have just seen the chat there. Multiple access, I need several beebs and a bigger bank balance. Is it very expensive to run them, Brian, at the moment? I mean, how much is this sort of costing you? Just, you know, out of curiosity. I'd be very tempted to dabble with this myself. A future project I want to do here on the channel is to actually looking at BBSs, but actually using retro hardware, but going via broadband. So, example, using my Master 128, to actually talk to Brian's Master 128 and, you know, exchange data via Night Owl, which would be kind of cool. So we've got no callers since no one's in at the moment. Of course, so the line's open at the moment if you do want to join. Multitasking Beeb. Oh, go away, Lee. Oh yeah, put one of the PiTube Directs in there. That's Raspberry Pi with like a Pi 2 or something in with its quad core chipset and multi cores working on it. But yeah. Actually, on a serious note, I do wonder if Raspberry Pis on their own could actually host. They should be able to host BBSs on their own, shouldn't they? In theory. That'd be one way of doing it. That'd be a cheaper way of doing it. If you had like just dedicated Raspberry Pis running the service. I'm not quite sure how that would mechanically work, but oh, here we go. So Brian says the hardware costs a considerable amount, but a lot was unnecessary. Running the Beeb, and so this is what I'm talking about when I had silly heart thing. I can't see the corner of the chat. It's very annoying. Beeb and the Pi is pretty minimal expense. Yeah, true. Actually, in the video here, you can just, this is me at the time looking at the call list, publicly published call list on Night Owl to see who has actually been in. Oh, I am at the bottom. Tom Williamson, Wi-Fi sheet. So the plan is obviously how long, by the way, is Night Owl running tonight after we go off air? Just out of interest, Brian. So lots coming up here on Wi-Fi Sheep, as already mentioned. Live broadcast wise, I intend to do, I mentioned this last week, I intend to do a live Christmas Eve broadcast. It won't be 8 till late, it'll be Wi-Fi Sheep, you know, Christmas Live or something. And I also intend rather, to do the traditional New Year's live here as well. So you can join me for Christmas Eve. By the way, this will all be GMT time zone. You can join me for Christmas Eve, and you can also join me for New Year's Eve if you want. I will be here on the channel. Brian has just said that the service tonight, Night Owl, will be running until midnight. So if you are watching this, even if it's on repeat, or on demand, and it is still the 21st of October, Saturday, then we are going to be running to I've got to work this out now. So we're going to be running to 2300 hours GMT. That's midnight BST, because at the moment we're still in British summertime. You wouldn't know it out there. So we're still GMT plus 1 in the time zone here. So midnight would mean 2300 hours GMT. The service will be online this evening. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to be live with a couple of specials coming up. So I hope you'll join me for those. I'm also thinking, and I haven't quite worked this out yet, but I'm thinking about perhaps as a special for 8 till 8, having some guests in video and on mic, actually here, actually live. So we open up a bit like a sort of like a panel via Skype or something. A couple of web shows do this. So I'm thinking I might open that up if there's any volunteers that might like to actually come on stream and actually talk about some tech, especially with Raspberry Pi 5 coming up. It might be nice to actually open up my live show to a few other voices, and we can have a sort of a panel discussion type sort of special, if you like, and see how well that works. So if that's something you potentially be interested in, drop us a line at info@wifisheep.co.uk is the official web address. You can find that in the info section to the channel anyway. Drop me a line if you're interested in that. I'm going to sort of see if I can get together a small community of people that would actually like to we could just join a big group Skype call or something, and I'll then restream that in the channel. Need a little bit of preparation. We probably need about half an hour's prep before we actually go live. But yeah, it's something we might do. Have like a sort of a 8 till late discussion special or something, and we could do that pretty soon actually. So that's something I'd like to do in between using this live stream to actually get my own project work done. So all things I'm thinking about here on the channel. I just think this section on Night Owl about favourite YouTubers is at the moment my best. I really do like it. It's my favourite part. So let's just catch up on the chat. So Brian, yes, the Pi can do so. Chris Royale has created a view data board called Phoenix. I think I've seen that, which can run multi-user, although some bugs still need to be worked out. Yeah, it's tempting to play with myself because it's pretty cool. I just don't quite think I've got the time to do such a good job as has been done here by Brian and all the others that run their own BBSs. But it's so cool to look at. You know, it has that nostalgic twinge from those of us that remember teletext and CFAX on TV. I'm too young to actually ever remember or use BBSs when they were the thing before the internet. I'm too young for that, but I do remember obviously analog CFAX and teletext off terrestrial television. It's very, very reminiscent. It's a similar technology, so it's very, very reminiscent of that. And always loved the graphics of what you could actually do in such limited sort of technology, basically. I still think there's probably a lot of people here that are logging in right now thinking, what on earth is going on tonight? I muted we were going to do this, and then my week just fell apart with all sorts of terrible things happening. Not serious things, but just annoying, expensive storm damage, flooding type things that I've discussed. And I was just like, oh, but we do need to get this together. So, and it's great to be able to, have people online that actually are hopefully visiting. So how many visitors have we actually had, Brian? If you don't count me. I was really hoping we might have got 8 or 9 through, but I don't think we've quite managed that, have we? Might be 2 or 3, which is still better than nobody. So those of you that have participated tonight, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it, and hope you've enjoyed it, and hope that you will go back to visit Night Owl again afterwards. I need to just find my I've lost my browser window, hang on. The dog will go mad in a moment, so if you hear barking, that's what's going on. Oh, only one. Oh no, seriously. Oh dear. Oh well. that's one extra one. You will be able to join again shortly. So if you're watching this, Night Owl is obviously going to be back online again at some point in the near future. Good evening, Gertmon. What's happening? Right, this is our Night Owl BBS special. We're doing something a little bit different tonight. So Brian Martin, who is in the chat right now, runs a BBS called Night Owl, which, if I got the photos for it, here is his setup. It's running on a BBC Master 128, which is that machine on the right hand side with the flat screen. That machine is currently live, online and running, and it's generating a BBS. And we are inviting people to line up one after another and join the BBS if they want to, and have a look at Night Owl tonight. If you're in front of a computer, like a PC, Mac or Linux desktop machine, this won't work on phones or tablets. So if you're actually in front of a computer, then you can actually download a web portal. And it's here. The site you need to go to is glasstty.com. And click through to Telnet, and it's Telnet client, which I've got here, which let me just bring that up to show you again. So here we are. So this is GlassTTY. Let's go back to the front page. At GlassTTY, you click on Telstar View Data System, and down here connecting to the service, Telstar View Data Client. There's a link here. You click. And then there's a download for a precompiled, hopefully it's precompiled, should be for Linux, Mac OS and Windows. And you can download a client for viewing BBSs over standard broadband connection. Download and open that up. I'm going to see if I can get my client back up and running. And hopefully it might come back up in a minute. If it doesn't, basically you open the Telstar client software, click on a little cloud, and then there's some port numbers and addresses you need to tap in. So Night Owl to access is nightowlbbs.dnss.net, and it's on port 6400. It's one user at a time, which means that we're also looking at Telstar tonight, which is glasstty.com, and it's on port 6502. And my client, we've had a few technical glitches tonight. So basically what's happening is I'm also taking recordings, and we're going to use those bits of recordings in a proper, full, edited, polished Wi-Fi sheet video all about BBSing. And that's why we've got the chat box. So for those of you that have commented this evening, you are now in the chat box. And we've got Wi-Fi sheep. I've DM'd you some pics on Instagram. I did see that actually. Of my chat with, yes, I've got the notifications of that. Just bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves while I look at Instagram. Oh, hang on. Oh, here we go. Is that tonight then? This is Jonas Leroux, or I can't. I'm stop. Don't start me with names tonight, people. I've had enough as it is. I apologise if I've just pronounced that terribly. Please do forgive me. Let's just see if I can bring that. Just bear with me. Is that what you're using tonight? To hang on. This will make no sense. Let's just go back to the web. That's what I've just been sent. This is by Jonas. It's just sent me this on Instagram. So there it is on screen now. Is that generally what you're using tonight? That's very different. There it is. So that's a real piece of hardware. Are you dialing in, or are you going in via the TPC connection? Appreciate there's a delay in the line, so we may get an answer in a moment, but I'll leave it on the screen. So this is it's going via TCB connection. So this is what is that? It's a proper terminal of some kind. You're actually going in via a proper terminal instead of the emulator software that we're using. That is so cool. I said I've literally just been sent this on. Well, I was sent it 3 minutes ago, something like that. I think 3 minutes ago. I've just sent this on Instagram by Jonas, who has just sent this to me. And that's what you're actually online at the moment looking at Night Owl using a genuine term. How cool is that? Well, that's brilliant. Thank you first of all, thank you so much for participating, get my words out. And thanks so much for sharing us live with that photo. That is brilliant. And that's the one thing I like about these live streams is, you get stuff like this happening, which doesn't normally happen. It's a Minitel terminal, French. Hang on. No, French 80s, I think it is. Yes, French 80s hardware, brilliant system. I thought it's French. Yeah, the French. Yeah, you had a Minitel. Of course, you had a like a 400 inch. I remember this. I remember it's been around 2012, 2013. Minitel was actually shut down. So the French did a number of things actually, technology-wise, that was ahead of the time. So off the top of my head, France had pre-Second World War. France technically had a high-definition television system. They ran at something like 819 lines. Now, to put that into perspective, I'm streaming at 720 lines, 720p. The French had a black and white 819 line system before the outbreak of Second World War. And French was also very well connected, and they had early BBS type internet systems on hardware like this, which is, the Minitel terminals. I do actually recognize it. Now you tell me what it is, I'm like, yes, I've seen pictures before. So you have these sort of domestic terminals. Jonas can correct me here, because obviously you know far more about this than I do. But yes, I think, as Lee's just said, every house had one. I guess so. Well, not every house, but I guess you could, like we had landline telephones here in the UK. You had, as well as telephones, you had these terminals, and they were much more commonplace than the equivalent systems that we had here in the UK in the 80s. Like, was it Project Mercury or something? Mercury Telecom, one of them, or something. Someone correct me. I'm talking about stuff before I was born. So, of course, the national system got shut down. I think it was about 2012, 2013. It got shut down in France. But obviously, you're still able to get these things working, doing something, which is, really, really cool. And that's made my evening, actually. So thank you, Jonas. Thank you so much for sharing that. That really has made my evening. So the reason I paused there is I've just made another little recording of this piece of the stream that I'm going to include in the video that we're going to do. So, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. And also, we should also say thank you to Brian, who's been putting up with me and running it all tonight. you know, brilliant work. And, you know, and this is Jonas saying there's a very good Computer Chronicles episode about it here on YouTube. Yes, the whole back library of Computer Chronicles is actually that was a US PBS show from 80s right through to the 2000s. I think I have watched a couple of episodes. I'm going to look that up actually, and I will watch that because that will tell me what I need to know. But yeah, that's really, really good. So we'll just open the chat again. There we go. So that is the chat for the chat. That's the chat box tonight. On if you want to be part of this video series, you can. There it is in the chat. If you want to join Night Owl, you can. It's nightowlbbs.dnss.net, and it's on port 6400 if you're using a TPC type system, or have got an adapter to get something vintage like a Minitel console to actually talk. That really has made my night. That's brilliant. So again, thank you so much for sharing that. Alternatively, if Night Owl is busy, can't think why it'd be busy, but if it is busy, glasstty.com on port 6502 is also available this evening. And again, this is just a short clip of me on Night Owl earlier on this evening. This is a video earlier on this afternoon, rather. This is a video of me logging into the system. I would go or try to go back on live, but unfortunately my console has stopped working and I'd need to restart the system, which means we'd be down, so probably not worth it. A reminder that Night Owl is going to be online until midnight or 2300 hours GMT. That's midnight BST here in the UK. So if you want to have a look, you can. And do go and say hi to Brian. Brian, normally, are you actually going to be with the system tonight? So if people wanted to live chat with you, they could actually, if Brian heard that question. So yeah, Brian might be online with it all tonight. So you can actually talk to him through the live two-way BBSing on Night Owl. If he's actually available. Right, well, I think we're probably going to come to the end a little bit earlier this evening. As I said, it's been a bit of an experiment just to see how well this all worked. And yeah, it's actually worked quite well. So again, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who took part and participated in this very special edition of 8 Till Late this evening. Brian has just said yes, he will be live. So Brian will be live with Night Owl. Again, just final time, there is the ports for Night Owl. It's nightowlbbs.dnss.net, port 6400. Do go and say hello. He's there right now through until midnight. I'm going to call it a night a little bit earlier this evening because I've had a lot going on. A lot of things have gone very, very wrong. I'm very tired. Yeah, I think we've come to a natural conclusion, but this has been fantastic fun. And thank you so much for all of you that have participated and shared some additional material and footage tonight. If you haven't done so already, would like to join our brilliant members, you can do so. There are our brilliant members. And you can join us on Patreon at patreon.com/Wi-Fi Sheep. And YouTube channel members is also a thing you can do. And you can start from 99 pence all the way up to £2.99. And that will be converted for your local currencies wherever you are in the world. So I will be back this time, or from 8 o'clock, I should say, next week with hopefully a more traditional tiny basic build version of 8 Till Late. We'll be back trying to build the prototype system board, but I am looking to do other things in the live streams as we go out throughout the year. If you would be interested in joining me on a group Skype call, which would stream live here as part of an 8 Till Late broadcast, do drop me an email. you can at info@wifisheep.co.uk, or you can go to @wifisheep on X or Threads, and you can drop me a DM, or on Instagram as well. That works. You can drop me a DM if you'd be interested in participating. We might try and get something together in the next few weeks and attempt to do some sort of like live panel discussion show here on the channel, which I think would be great fun. That is it from me for tonight. So thank you so much for everybody who has joined me, and for all of you that are going to be watching this as I record or on demand later on. It has been fantastic, and we must say a huge thank you to Brian for letting us do this and intrude on Night Owl. And Brian, as I said to you in the phone call, it's fantastic to talk to you, by the way, in person. I know you weren't expecting me to call you up, but you gave me you gave me your number and you said text me, and I thought I'm going to call you. So it was absolutely fantastic to talk to you, and it is a brilliant project. You really have done an absolutely fantastic project, and I am all for supporting your work, and it does have a value, and I'm sure many of us tonight have enjoyed Night Owl and everything that's gone with it, including the chaos. So if you haven't done so already, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you real soon right here on the channel. But from me and everyone who has joined me here on 8 till late for tonight, a very good night.